I want to take you in something I title Dealing with the Enemy of My Destiny. Dealing with the enemies of my destiny. Who is the enemy of your destiny? Enemy of my destiny are those contesting my destiny. Listen to me. Enemies of my destiny are those contesting my destiny by introducing strategies to win my glory. Those contesting my destiny by introducing strategies to win my glory. Who are those enemies? They are the enemy that is always against your next level. They are the enemy that is always against your next level. They are the enemy that always want to know your next move. Your next move. They are the enemy. They always want to know your next move. They are the enemy that is always against your promotion. These are the enemies of my destiny. They contest with my destiny. They are contesting my destiny by introducing strategies to win my glory. These are the enemies we are dealing with. Who are those enemies? They are the enemy that we hear that husband is coming for you, or you are finding a beautiful wife to marry. They will become an information minister. They will become an information minister because they heard that somebody is coming for your marriage. They become information minister. They will do everything possible to stop that your testimony from manifesting. These are the enemies of your destiny. That time, the enemies of your destiny knows everything about you. The enemies of your destiny are those you feel you have confidence in, and you can discuss anything with them. These are the real enemy. David, the father of Solomon, was a great man. Are you aware?
Yes, sir.
David assumed his position by the cause of the victory he had, pulling down Goliath. You know the story. So he became a king of half of the nation, and his other brothers in the palace become a king of the other nation. Are you aware? Solomon is the one. Is his son. And David wake up one beautiful morning. He said very loud. He said, when I'm old, that Solomon will take over from me. And everybody heard it. The enemies heard it. They all heard the information. Solomon will take over from me. Go to verse 5. There's no time. Solomon will take over from me.
Then Adonijah, the son.
Hold on. Before that, are you aware that King David married 8 wives and he has 16 children? Are you aware? And Solo is the 5th child, the 9th child, and Adonijah is the 4th child. That means Adonijah senior Solomon Get this into your head before we proceed. Then read verse 5.
And Adonijah, the son of Haggith, exalted himself.
Adonijah, the brother of Solomon, had an information that Solomon is going to become the king. And he began to exalt himself. How does he do that? Go ahead, very fast.
Saying, I will be king.
He said, I will be king.
So he provided himself with chariots.
He began to gather people. He said, he knows that my father is old. Very soon he will die. And he's already lying down. We have even covered him with a blanket. So we are waiting for his death. I am the next king they are looking upon. Follow me now. And he gathered to himself chariots. They begin to follow him. And what happened?
And horsemen.
And some horsemen.
And 50 men to run before him.
And 50 men to run before him. Originally, before another king can be ordained, the new king have to die. Are you aware? There cannot be two kings that is alive. But when the enemy is involved, he does not care. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
So the man was still alive. This man has portrayed himself as king. Listen to what happened. Go ahead.
Now his father, King David, had never disciplined him at any time.
His father did not discipline him. He didn't talk to him. He heard the news. He kept quiet. There's no problem. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
You can be told that you will become a king, but it's in your hand to become the king. Huh? You can be announced even in your community that this man will be great. No problem. It's in your hand to do what? To become great. So if you choose not to be great, you will not be great. Go ahead.
Saying,
Say.
why thou hast done so?
Go ahead.
And he also was a very godly man.
He was a very godly man.
And his mother bare him after Absalom.
And his mother did what?
Bare him after Absalom.
There is a place, I think you are jumping it. A place he was sacrificing animals to a stone just to make sure he become king. That is where I want you to get.
Okay. And Adonijah slew sheep and oxen and fat cattle.
Start afresh. He said, and Adonijah
Slew sheep.
He slew. He began to kill.
And
sheep.
oxen.
Sheep and oxen.
And fat cattle.
And the cattle.
By the stone of Zeholet.
By the stone of what? Let's talk now. We discuss this thing. By the stone of what? That is where he was offering his sacrifice to. And he gathered them, said, let us eat. I am now a king. Why? Because he heard the news that this man will become king after King David has died. King David was still alive. The man went and was raising sacrifice in order to become in charge of the kingship in the community. The man has not died yet. Bible says, for the sons of Issachar, they understand time and season. Which of the time do you understand? This man understands time. He went, was sacrificing. The father was still alive. He had not yet died. He sacrificed and said, I want to become the king. That means, even if David later announced him as a king, because of the sacrifice, he's the real king. Huh? He's the real king. Who is contesting with your destiny? Huh? Who is playing politics with your destiny? Who is playing politics with your glory? He slayed this thing to become in charge, to take it from the realm of sacrifice. That is one of the reasons why Solomon became a sacrificial man. Because they were contesting his destiny with a lot of strategies to win his glory. Adonijah is already seen. If you read down, I don't want to read it down because of time, because I have other place to read. Adonijah is already seen in the community as the king. because of that his act. People are now bowing down to him, say, "Hail King Adonijah! Hail King Adonijah! Hail King Adonijah!" Then a man called Nathan heard it and become offended. He become offended. He said, "My Lord, the king have spoken to us that Solomon is going to be king after him. Why are they calling Adonijah the king of this nation?"
Then Nathan said to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon,
Yes.
"Have you not heard that Adonijah, the son of Haggith, reigns?"
Let's go down to 24.
And Nathan said,
"My
Lord the king,
my Lord the king,
have you heard?"
Listen to me. Nathan went and meet with what? David. He left. In verse 11, he was complaining and lamenting what they are doing. That this thing is not right. It has been announced that this man is going to be king. Why is it that another man has manipulated him and is now portraying himself in the community that he is now the king? Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Then in verse 24, he went and met to David and said what? Read it.
"O king,
O king,
hast thou said,
have thou said
Adonijah shall reign after me?"
that Adonijah shall reign after thee? Do you say something like that? Go ahead.
"And he shall sit upon my throne,
And that he will sit upon your throne." Go ahead.
for he has gone down this day.
That Adonijah has gone down this day.
He hath slain oxen
That he has slayed oxen, he has offered sacrifice.
and fat cattle.
And fat, listen, he says what? Fat cattle. They ask you to go and raise a sacrifice. You go and look for a goat that is sick. Why unbelievers are sacrificing fat cattle? You are looking for cheap one. Go. Go ahead, there's no time.
And sheep in abundance,
Go ahead.
and hath called all the king's sons.
And he had called all the king's
Sons.
sons. Listen, he called all the king's sons together to even support him. Go ahead.
And the captains of the hosts,
And all the captains of the host, he called them.
and Abiathar the priest,
And the Abiathar, the priest, he also called him. Go ahead.
and behold,
And behold,
they eat and drink before him,
all of them sitting and was eating and drinking before him and calling him.
And
"Hey, King." Go ahead.
God save King Adonijah.
God save King Adonijah. They were eating and drinking. They were hailing him. Say, "God, please save King Adonijah." My question is Adonijah the king?
No, sir. No, sir.
The man was contesting with the destiny of Solomon. That is the question. Some of you here, the people contesting your destiny are your brothers. They know you. Now you know me. Now you they do me. They are not happy because you are rising. They are not happy because God have chosen you for that battle. They are not happy because you are the Joseph. Say, even the father of Joseph was not happy with the dream of Joseph. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
So, and you are telling me, he's my beloved brother. He's my brother. He's the same mother that gave birth to us. You think he's happy with you? It was his brother. Was it his brother? It was his brother. And his brother went to sacrifice in order to overturn that which is made for him. How many sacrifices have they raised concerning you? How many sacrifices have they raised concerning your marriage? How many sacrifices has stagnated you? How many? Go ahead first.
But me, even me thy servant,
He didn't call me your servant.
and Zodok, the priest,
The priest.
and Benaiah,
Go ahead.
the son of Jehoiada,
Yes.
and thy servant Solomon, had he not called?
He didn't call us. He called these people. Listen, whenever they begin to call family meeting, be it an elder brother, and you discover that some people are exempted, they didn't call you, they didn't involve you in the meeting. The meeting is against you. Are you hearing me? Any meeting they call in your family, but they did not involve you, the meeting is against you. You are fully involved. They called all these people. They did not call the loyal servants. They said Nathaniel will not call him. Solomon, forget him. He's the target. Forget all these people. We can do without them. Enemies contending with your glory. Some of you, a lot of meetings have been held. They didn't even tell you about it. You are not informed. Suddenly you heard that a meeting was held and decision has been made. Eh? Are you aware? There are meeting before meeting. Yes, and there are meeting after meeting. Yes. You see that meeting before meeting? That is where the main thing is being discussed. Go ahead.
Is this thing done by my lord the king? And thou hast not shewed it unto thy servant, who should sit on the throne.
If you, the king, has approved this, that the Adonijah should become the king, without revealing to us, your servant, we have been your loyal servant. We have been with you. I am also a prophet in this land, but you have not told me about it. Why the king? Go ahead.
Then King David answered and said.
Then King David is now replying him.
Called me Bathsheba.
Call me Bathsheba, which is the mother of Solomon. Yes, and the mother of Solomon happened to be the last wife. Are you aware?
Yes, sir.
Is the last wife. Go ahead.
And she came into the king's presence.
And she came into the king's presence.
And stood before the king.
And he stood before the king.
And the king swore.
And the king swore.
And said.
And said.
As the Lord liveth.
As the Lord liveth.
That he had redeemed my soul.
That I have redeemed my soul.
Out of all distress.
Out of all distress.
Even as I swear unto thee by the Lord God of Israel.
The king is now swearing to the priest that I did not say this thing. I have never told Adonijah to do anything. But Adonijah is being powered from an altar. Go ahead.
Saying.
Assuredly.
Solomon thy son shall reign after me.
Listen. Solomon thy son will reign after me. The king repeated it. Are you hearing me? Yes. Some of you, you have already said it that this is your child. We become in charge of this company. We become in charge of this building. We become in charge of this property. And suddenly you saw somebody coming to contend with that which you have said. And you begin to compromise. Even God is against it. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
You begin to compromise. He said, oh, are you hearing me? When you are still alive, you still have the final say. David was still very much alive. He was still very much alive. He's not dead yet. He said, no, this man cannot be king. It's not possible. That I told you, and I'm repeating it, that Solomon is going to be the king. Are you hearing me? Yes. No man become great without battle.
I hear you.
No man become great without battle. Every destiny have a battle that is standing by it. If you like, let them promote you, carry you, put on top. There is a battle there. If you are not able to conquer that battle, they place you. You will still come down. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
He is already seen as the king. Let me tell you something. The communities are already bowed down to him as the king. When he passes on the street, everybody shouts, Igwe. But he is not the king. And the king was still seated, waiting to hear from the mouth of the master. Are you aware that King David had the final say then? If King David called Solomon, say, Solo, everybody has heard it now. Forget it. Solomon will compromise. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
But David said no. Some of you, small trial, you have compromised. You have denied your son access. You have denied your children access. You have denied your son inheritance. Eh? Small thing. I want to tell you another. The battles are won in the place of sacrifice. You cannot fight any battle without a sacrifice. Any battle you are fighting without a sacrifice, sir, you are wasting your time. Are you aware why this battle lingered? Well, because of that sacrifice he raised. Eh? Because sacrifice is what to amplify your voice in the realm. So he needed his voice to be heard. He had to sacrifice first. He didn't introduce himself to anybody as king. He only sacrificed, called them to eat, and they begin to call him long life king. They begin to speak to him. Go ahead, read the next verse.
And he shall sit upon thy throne in my stead.
That Solomon will sit upon the throne in my stead. Look at it here. Before, the Lord said that when the king, the present king, pass on, that is where another king will assume the throne. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
But because of what is happening, David now changed it and said that he will sit in my throne as my word. Stay when I'm still alive. I don't have to die anymore. I don't have to die anymore. That now, let Solomon become the king. Even when I'm still alive. He said, get me my oxen, get me my sheep, get me my horses. Ride him upon the horse across the community. Go ahead, read it.
Even so will I certainly do this day.
That this is how I'm going to do. Go ahead. Be very fast, please.
Then Bathsheba bowed with her face to the earth and did reference to the king and said, let my Lord King David live forever.
Go ahead.
And King David said, call me Zadok the priest, and Nathan the prophet, and Benaiah the son of Jodiah. And they came before the king.
Yes.
And the king also said unto them, take with you the servant of your Lord, and cause Solomon my son to ride upon my own mule, and bring him down to Gihon. And let Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet anoint him there king over Israel, and blow ye with the trumpet, and say, God save King Solomon.
Do you hear that?
Yes, sir.
He said, let them take him around. I'm alive. Take him around. They should even go and blow the trumpet and say, God save King Solomon. He have already announced him the king, and he was still alive. But I want you to get something there. Adonijah sacrifice to gain a place in the realm. And the only man that can counter that which I've done is a man that have already gained a place in the realm. If David leave the battle for Solomon, Solomon will lose. If David leave that battle for Solomon, Solomon will lose. Because by that time, Solomon has no sacrifice in the altar. Go and study. Solomon will definitely lose if he leave the battle for him. But so, Adonijah has gained a place in the realm, while David already have a place in the realm. So this is a battle of realm. It's no longer physical. You are busy making noise in the community. The land belongs to me. The land belongs to me. Why some men are busy offering sacrifice of cows and cattle, saying, I am in charge. How can you drag a property with somebody that is sacrificing where you don't have any sacrifice? Sir, you are losing that property. His sacrifice. You can't portray yourself as an owner of anything that you have not paid for. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
You can't portray yourself as an owner of anything at all that you have not paid for. So even your destiny, you also have to pay for your destiny. Even your own destiny needs payment before it can be fulfilled. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
I want you to go to the same 1 King chapter 2. Because of time, there's no time.
Chapter 2, verse 1, sir.
Chapter 2, read from verse 5. Yes. See, when this thing becomes severe, Solomon has become the king. And David called him. And he said, sit down, my son. He sat down. He said, I want to show you. These people are my enemies. Are you hearing me? These people are my enemies. They are my enemies. They are contending with me. They are battling with me. They are warring with me. This is how you're going to deal with them. Read that place for me.
Moreover, thou knowest also that Joab, the son of Zeruiah, did to me.
You know also that Joab, the son of Jorah, you know what he did to me.
And what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel.
You know what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel. You are aware?
Unto Abner, the son of Ner. And unto Amasa, the son of Jetha.
These are what he does.
Whom he slew and shed the blood of war in peace.
He shed their blood in peace.
And put the blood of war upon thy girdle.
Yes.
Upon his girdle that was about his loins, and in his shoes that were on his feet.
Go ahead.
Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not his whore head go down to the grave in peace.
You hear that? Let not his head go down to the grave in what? In peace. That means make sure you separate the head from the neck before he dies. Make sure you separate it from the head before he died. He mentioned about 3 people because of time. If you read down, he mentioned about 3 people. But the problem, he didn't mention the real enemy. Are you hearing me? Some of you are fighting the enemies of your father. His father was measuring his own enemy to him to fight. Forget that Solomon has his own enemy. He measured 3 men. He said, this one, cut off his head. This one, don't allow him go close to the altar. Immediately you don't see me, disconnect him from the altar. He said, this one, make sure you send them out of that land. They should not be there again. These are the enemies of the father. But the father did not tell him that this one, be careful of this one. The father was still telling them that you poor are brothers, you are the king, make sure you carry your brother along. But his brother was the one that come after his life. His brother came after his life. Enemies that is always interested in your next move. Look at what they do. They look to see beyond you. They say, now he's now the king. What is the next move? If they go forward, they are always ahead of you. They want to hinder you before you arrive. That is their main mission. They say, okay, let me quickly go for this before he come for this. And if I go for this and become in charge of this, I will be able to have full access to his leadership and destroy his leadership. You have to be very conscious of this, I'm telling you. It's happening and very serious is happening. I want you to quickly go to verse 13 of the same chapter 2. Because of time.
And Adonijah, the son of Haggith,
and Adonijah, the son of Haggith,
came to Bathsheba.
He came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon.
And she said,
and he said,
comest thou peaceably?
She was asking her, are you coming peacefully?
And he said,
peaceably. Peacefully. I come in peace. I come in peace. I want you to hear if he come in peace. Are you hearing me? Yes, every peace spoken is not peace. There are peace that are spoken but are war. So be conscious even when the person confesses to you that there's no problem. Oh God, there is problem. I've told you before, anybody searching for an information have a reason he's searching for the information. Go ahead.
Verse 14. In fact, I have a favor to ask of you.
Now, he now comes. He said, first of all, I came in peace. But now, in fact, I have a favor to ask from you. Go ahead.
What is it? She asked.
He said, what is that?
He replied, as you know, the kingdom was rightfully mine.
Are you hearing it? Have you know that the kingdom was rightfully mine? That means he's still claiming ownership of the kingdom. See, anyone that have contest with your destiny is always claiming your destiny. He's always claiming your glory. Don't think that I have won the election. All the enemies can become my friend. Sir, it's a lie. Enemies remain an enemy till they enter grave. Go ahead, there's no time. Very far.
All Israel wanted me to be the next king.
Are you hearing it? That all the Israel wanted me to be the next king. Who are the Israel? Look at it here. He said all the Israel wanted me. He's telling the mother of Solomon to be the king. One is that the kingdom is mine. That means he has already claimed the ownership of the kingdom, even in the realm of the spirit. Go ahead.
But the tables were turned.
He said, but the tables were turned. You forget the original thing. David said that Solomon will be a king after me. That is the original agreement. Who turned the table? Adonijah turned the table. Now he's not labeling. I told you before that any man that calls you a witch is a witch. Because he attend to the realm of witch to attack you and see that you are strong. He now come up publicly and say you are a witch. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And the kingdom went to my brother instead.
I said, and now they have done it. The kingdom have not gone to my brother instead. Go, be very fast.
For that is the way the Lord wanted it.
That is the way the Lord wanted it.
So now I have just one favor to ask of you.
Now the favor, no problem there. I have just one favor to ask from you. What is the favor?
Please don't turn me down.
Please don't turn me down.
What is it? She asked.
What is it? She asked.
He replied.
Speak
to King Solomon on my behalf.
Go and speak to the King Solomon on my behalf.
For I know he will do anything you request.
But I know he will do anything you request.
Ask him to let me marry Abishag.
Ask him to let me marry
Abishag.
That is where the problem is. Remember, they brought King David a damsel. Very beautiful. Was sick. They brought him a damsel. And that damsel is the person he's measuring. And that damsel become close to Solomon. Bible says, and Solomon has nothing to do with this man, this lady. But Solomon confided on the lady over some secrets of the kingdom. Remember, he said the kingdom is his own. So he wants to now marry the lady and become in charge of the kingdom. That lady is supposed to be an advisor in that kingdom. Because he's the last person that was with the king before the king passed on. Then he now come and say, that is the person I want. Are you seeing? He's overheading.
Strategy.
Raising different strategy to still be in charge. That is the reason why you can see somebody, they say this man is a governor, but he's not the one leading us. They say he's a governor, but he's not the one leading. It's what this man said that is happening, but you are the governor. Yes, sir. You are the leader. You are not the one leading. What another man says, what is happening. So he wants to see it. Solomon will be seen as the king. Everybody sees him. Solomon is the king, but he's the one that have the final say. So Solomon cannot operate in the kingdom without consulting him. And Solomon, his mother said, no problem. Solomon does not have anything to do with the lady. I will go and meet Solomon. So he will release the lady to you. When he now went to Solomon, Solomon become offended and become angry with the mother and begin to speak in another voice that the mother have never seen him spoken before. He said, mother, go and tell Adonijah to come and take the kingdom. Since he want to take this lady, let him come and take the kingdom.
How can you possibly ask me to give Abishag to Adonijah?
Wow.
King Solomon demanded, you might as well ask me to give him the kingdom.
Simple. Hear me. Listen to me. Any man that have contested a particular position with you, and finally you won the man, Whenever he comes demanding anything from that your leadership, examine that thing he's demanding. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
He have looked and see that this is the future. Because this lady was the last person that was seated with King David. There must be some certain things that David have released to the lady. So he said, let me marry the lady. Let me marry him. Solomon become offended. Become offended. Dealing with the enemy of my enemies. They know they get tired until they die. That is the only thing that can separate you from them. How do you deal with the enemies of your family? Number one. One, in the place of prayer. Luke 18:1, he said, a man ought to always pray. Are you hearing me? Yes. Men ought to always pray. If you still go down and study the book of Judges chapter 6, he said, an angel appeared unto Gideon. He said, thou mighty man of valor, the Lord is with thee. I've taught you this before. Mighty man of valor simply means a mighty man of power, a man that his voice has been heard in the realm of the spirit. That means Gideon is a man of prayer. And the idols of his father's house become the enemy of his destiny. That was the idol kept poverty in their family. And that poverty is his enemy. He actually needs to deal with the poverty. Then he separated himself from his mother's children and began to pray. He's in the place of prayer. God himself have to come. God have to come. Send an angel. The angel said, thou mighty man of valor, the Lord is with thee. This is the time for your separation. He said, how can this be? Gideon was busy asking him, where are the blessings that our father told us about? He said, the blessings is in you, is hidden inside you. You can't be able to see it, but you have touched the realm that brought my presence to you to bring that to manifestation. Gideon touched the realm. He touched the realm. You can only deal with that kind of enemy by touching a realm. Touch a realm. Say neighbor, touch a realm. Hey. Leave the realm you are. Touch another realm. There is another realm. There is another realm. I told you before when we were starting prayer concerning a man by name Ezekiel. Yes. Are you hearing me? Ezekiel saw his enemy. They are seated in the cloud of the family. And Ezekiel don't just become that. Ezekiel is a prophet. Are you aware? Ezekiel has prayed. He's a mighty man of valor. His voice has been heard in the realm of the spirit. He touched the realm, and the spirit of God had to carry him. And the spirit lifted him above and carried him to that realm. Said, these are your problems. These are your enemy. They are the one contending with your destiny. They are the one contending with your destiny. So number one way of dealing with your destiny, with the enemies of your destiny is by what? Prayer. Tarry in the place of prayer and touch a realm that will bring the presence of God to manifestation. Hey, number two, in the place of sacrifice. Are you hearing me? In the place of what? Sacrifice. Adonijah, he said sacrifice. And because his sacrifice was limited, he needed a man that have gained a realm. Are you hearing me? David have also sacrificed. David sacrificed to the level that he even sacrificed Goliath. He sacrificed to the level he had to sacrifice Goliath. So this is the realm. And in the history of Adonijah, Adonijah have not sacrificed human being. He needed a higher blood. He sacrificed. He said, I need a man that have attended a realm in this level of. See, hear me clear. If you have a problem that has to do with government, they will tell you to bring somebody in level 5, in level 6, in level 7. That is how it is in the realm of the spirit. He needed a man in a level that nobody have attended, a level that Adonijah have not got into. They said there is one. His name is David. He's the father of Adonijah. He's also the father of Solomon. He is the one that killed Goliath. He sacrificed Goliath. That is the reason why even David himself grow up and see, hey, this battle is by sacrifice. Oh, hey, my father that have sacrificed to put me here. If I don't continue sacrificing, I will lose it. He said, a man that killed Goliath is one that put you here. What will you sacrifice to be equivalent to the blood of Goliath for you to remain in this power? Because Adonijah is not yet dead. Adonijah was still very much alive and still ready to war. Solomon said, okay, no problem. And now the king, okay, he offered a sacrifice of 1,000 cows. And God himself had to come down. Say, I see another realm. Tell your neighbor, I see another realm. I see another realm. We have left the realm of cattle and sheep to a stone. This is no longer the realm we are. We have left the realm of killing Goliath. This is no longer the realm. I see another realm. And the Lord himself have to come down and say, so what happened now?
And the king went to Gibeon.
And the king went to Gibeon
to sacrifice there.
To sacrifice there.
For that was the great high place.
That was the great high place. One is to sacrifice in a great altar. In a powerful altar. I said that place was a great high place. Go ahead.
1,000 burnt offerings.
1,000 burnt offering.
Did Solomon offer upon that altar?
Solomon offer upon that altar. When he offered that offering, God himself had to appear.
In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon.
Hold on. Let them go and read it. There's no time. I don't want to close you late. You go back and study it. Listen, he offered that sacrifice and he had to invite God himself. When God saw the level of blood that was flowing, he said, this one is not the blood of cattle and sheep. No. This is not their blood. This is no longer the blood of, what is his name? Goliath. No. Goliath cannot produce this blood. I see another blood in another realm that is greater than the first blood, which I have seen that I, the Lord, has to go myself. He appeared. He said, hey, Solomon, why are you terrorizing my kingdom? See blood everywhere. I can't even match my feet. Everywhere blood. What do you say you want? Tell me what you want. What is that you need? What is bothering you? Tell me this is what you want. I can no longer wait. Who is fighting you? Who is warring against you? Who is that enemy? Tell me. Solomon, look at him. Say, my father. Hey, Shaka. Give me wisdom and knowledge to be able to lead your people. He said, you did not request anything. Now, because of wisdom and knowledge, you want to rise my kingdom? All the angels, they scattered when they saw the blood. They are no longer comfortable. So for God himself to come down and ask him, so God, what's the problem? You want to spoil this earth? Hey! Who taught you this thing you are doing? Who taught you? And he requested, said, this is a small thing, but because by the value and the level and the strength of sacrifice which you have offered, that I will make you greatest among all, is by the value and the level and the realm which you have touched. He said, I will make you the greatest above all. Can I give you the number 3 or I should close? Hey. Number 3, by sending your enemy to the grave. Sending them to the grave. The grave is the last bus stop. Give me the book of Isaiah 6 verse 1. A man has to die for another man to see the light. Your light is hidden until that man dies before you can see the light. Can you read it for me?
In the year King Uzziah died,
In the year King Uzziah died,
I saw also the Lord
I saw also the Lord
sitting upon a throne.
sitting upon the throne. Listen to me. That means before now, Isaiah have not been seeing the Lord sitting on the throne. Are you hearing me? Was Isaiah a major prophet? Yes. But he have not seen the Lord sitting on the throne since Uzziah was still alive. Uzziah need to die for him to see the Lord sitting on the throne, because his testimony is tied in seeing the Lord sitting on the throne. Somebody is not getting me. Oh, are you hearing me? Ezekiel attended that realm. After he saw these people, he was inquiring, what will I do? The Lord said, prophesy against them. And when he began to prophesy, a man died. For you to reign in that city, there are people that need to die. Are you hearing me? For you to possess your possession, there are people that need to die. Hey. Any man that have killed anybody in your family is dying today.
Yeah.
Are you hearing me? The Lord said to me clear, he said, sudden death is ended in your family.
Yeah.